Welcome to the Broken Baker, where crimes are baked in every show. Mysteries rise and truth unfolding. Ready, set, it's time to go. We say it's time to go. Whistling clues, battering news, mixing stories, solving the lies. In this kitchen, secrets are broken. With a spark in our eyes. In the Broken Baker's kitchen, the secrets crumble like sunrise. We'll sift through clues to find the most. With a spark in our eyes, the broken arrives. Broken arrives. Welcome to the Broken Baker. Get ready. Let's go.
I'm Jimmy. How y'all doing?
The most important people in this case that everybody seems to have forgotten in this room is the jury. So we're going to take a 15-minute break and both sides take a pregnant pause and think about the jury.
Hello, everyone. This case kind of started out of the blue. So we are a little behind because I wasn't really suspecting it was going to go today. Ohio v. Toby Madden, a man accused of stabulating his wife 55 times because 54 is not enough. So we will watch this. And tomorrow at 6:30, I will be visiting Social Change Warriors for a live chat. So hopefully we don't go too late on this one. But be ready for that. I will promote it a little bit more on the community tab, but let's get to it and do it. Oh, he's crying.
Who is he? Oh, is he talking to his family?
That's a new beginning, Jamie. Haven't seen that one before.
All right.
Oh, by the way, he fired 5 of his previous lawyers, tried to fire the 6th one, judge wouldn't let him, tried to go pro se, judge wouldn't let him. Apparently, he has been removed from the court multiple times, so it could be a good one.
Could be.
Hey, Tom.
We're not being back.
Okay, we're back on the record in State versus Madden, CR 22-121675. The jurors are not present at this time. Counsel for the state, Mr. Burris and Mr. Hahn are present, along with Detective Horton, and Mr. Madden appears in person with counsel, Mr. Wilder. Just a few housekeeping details before we get started today. Counsel should have found on their table a packet of the jury instructions. Those are draft instructions. I don't expect you to comment on those today. I just wanted to give you a working copy so that as we go through the evidence.
Oh, yeah, and he had a little of the magical powder, 300 grams, in a suitcase. So he was arrested, released because they want to turn him informer, but just like Snow, he didn't do it. So he's already serving 19 years, I believe, for a little bit of the party powder.
Really?
Yeah, he is, I think, actually, he is 55 years old now.
Oh, wow.
Wendy Yates, you were a smoke show back then as you are now.
She
You're able to make comments and request additions or corrections to those. The other thing I wanted to bring is we do have the media covering the trial. I have instructed the jurors will not be filmed. If
What?
I would ask the counsel to release their own witnesses. If any of your witnesses do not wish to be on film, please let me know that prior to the witness taking the stand, and I will instruct the camera operators to not film that particular witness. Okay. So
This is
be
why I
prepared for the
hate
board
Ohio
response.
trials.
Yeah.
Because they are allowed to opt out.
As the daughter of the defendant and daughter of the deceased, I do believe wishes to exercise her mercy law rights and be present for whatever part of the trial that she would be able to.
All right. Do you have any comment on that, Mr. Wilder?
Yeah, we would object to that. Listen, I don't want to object to anything. I just want to, this is my family that I love. And, listen, yeah, I'm responsible for what happened to her. I didn't mean it. I'm getting to it. Judge, are we recording?
I believe we are.
I know, I'm so
We need to take a recess?
Yes.
Okay, let's take a recess
I
and
love
we'll,
you. And I don't want you to hate me. I don't want you to hate me.
Did he just admit to it?
What do you mean? I didn't hear any of that.
Well, he said, I just wanna, I'm so sorry, I just don't wanna. Well, we're live.
I just heard a lot of crying, but then something about this is my family. I don't want them to hate me. Maybe they
Yeah.
hate him already. I don't know.
Yeah, they will stream the audio. We have seen that before, that then they'll put it on the seal and we'll just listen to it. Hey, Kelly Beans. What
Does he
other
not
trial
want them
did
to be
he
there? Is that maybe what it is? Because he doesn't
No,
want
he
them
didn't
to
want to object.
hate
He just
him?
wanted to finish. Do I need to
you
go
know
back?
that prior to the, then do you have, I believe we are.
Listen, I don't want to object to anything. I just want to, this is my family that I love. And, listen, yeah, I'm responsible for what happened to her. I didn't mean it.
I didn't mean it. Didn't he just say that?
For what happened to her. I didn't mean it.
It sounds like he
Yeah.
says, what happened to her, I didn't mean it.
I can't tell.
For what happened to her. I didn't mean it. Judge, are we recording?
I believe we
I
are.
know, I'm so.
I think he just said, what happened to her, I didn't mean it.
Well,
So that's
if
an interesting
he's
way.
admitting to it, then why are we even here? So
I don't know. Well, he was. Yeah.
then why aren't we just locking him up?
What the what? Exactly. Yeah, he said, I'm so sorry, and what happened to her, I didn't mean it. And I don't want my family, I want them to hate me. That's the last thing he says. Yeah. Well, this is the defendant. The defendant who claims innocence, kind of just admitted to doing it. I will be doing an interpretive dance of the witness's testimony. We haven't even gotten the jury into the jury box yet, Helen. So welcome.
We don't know what we don't know what's going on right now. They just took a recess. Just crying.
Yeah, he just started crying. This is the family I love. Yeah. Hey,
Uh-oh.
15 strokes from Wales. He has been tested. His mom had him tested. He is fit for trial. But apparently he is very cray-cray in some points. He has been removed from court before, where he started fighting the officers. Yeah, I didn't mean it. That's how I heard it. It was wrong what happened to her. I didn't mean it. It could be that too. Yeah, then just come back in and say, sorry, folks, we wasted all of your morning. I am pleading guilty. Yeah, especially because he's just started yelling over his attorney. Pete Jefferson, you picked the exact right time to join. We are back, maybe. Something's happening. Yeah, but are we recording? Yeah. That's what he said. I heard it through my earbuds. Yeah, and I have the direct feed before you get it out to you, and I heard it too. Well, it's going really well. This is what has happened so far. We are on a recess. After 2 minutes in court, we are on recess because this happened.
Yeah, we would.
Witness. Okay. So are we prepared to go forward, Mr. Burris?
With opening, yes. I know Michaela Madden, who has been the victim rep for most of this, is the daughter of the defendant and daughter of the deceased, I do believe wishes to exercise her martial law rights and be present for whatever part of the trial.
Someone wants a martial law
to be able
rule.
to.
All right.
His
And
daughter.
do you have any
said.
comment on that, Mr. Wilder?
Yeah, we would object to that. Listen, I don't want to object to anything. I want to, this is about the family that I love. And, listen, yes, I'm responsible for what happened to her. I didn't mean it. Judge, are we recording?
I believe we are.
I'm so
We need to take a recess?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
let's take a recess and we'll
So this is what had happened so far. We haven't even had the jury in, and he says, "What happened to her? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to." So her makeup is a look. Yeah, it's the Wendy 80 look. Yeah, listen, I don't wanna. He doesn't wanna object to anything. He just wanted to go. I don't know if he's that pleased because now he's wasted the jury's time all morning. Yeah, what happened to her? I didn't mean. Yeah, that's yeah. That's live from court. That's we came in a little late because it just started abruptly, and then we were in court for 3 minutes, and then oh, we need a recess. Hey, Anya. So hey, watcher. Yeah. Why don't anyone think of the jury? They wasted an entire day. Hopefully they get paid.
The most important people in this case that everybody seems to have forgotten in this room is the jury. So we're going to take a 15-minute break and both sides take a pregnant pause and think about the jury.
Nope. Nothing about the jury. Oh, he has a. This guy stabulated a woman 55 times. And he has a
Allegedly.
girlfriend. Yeah, I heard it as an admission, yes. Is he trying to force a mistrial? He has been acting out all the way through. He has formerly been pro se in another case. I don't know if it's his drug case or he has a previous felony from the 80s, aggravated assault, I think. I don't know which one of them he was pro se. He wanted to go pro se. The judge said, ain't gonna happen. This could have been worse than Brooks if he got if he got to go pro se. Oh, the court officer. Yeah. Well, tripping and accidentally stabulating someone 55 times. It's you're trying to get up, you slip on the blood, you hit them again. It's just a whole mess. You flail around because who hasn't been there? Lock someone in a suitcase. It happens. The boy from Malcolm in the Middle grew up angry. Box juror 13 for the price of 12. Yes, I saw parts of it while I was waiting for this one to start. Hey, Yatsia. Well, either it's a very short ride or it's going to be it'll rival my Bradley Yawn coverage. Yes, she had been his girlfriend through 27 years, I believe. No, it's not Carly's judge. This is in an entirely different state. This is Ohio, Jamie's favorite state. Go Fighting Ohio.
Oh my
And
gosh.
well, Julie, is 54 okay then? It's people are way too hung up on numbers. It's just 55 times. Yeah, I didn't mean to. Please don't be mad. And no, there's no, because it's live, so there's no. You can only get closed caption on when they're 10 seconds behind or something like that. Yeah, she poured all over her oil over the kitchen floor, and it backfired on her. All an accident. Well, he got her from everywhere from the head to her knees. So he must have been in an accident. Yeah, they were doing a TikTok and stuff happens.
What? A TikTok.
Yeah, it's a TikTok challenge. You haven't done one of those skating with a knife in your kitchen TikTok?
No.
I don't know. Could be, Jamie. It's a good explanation. I would try that for the jury. Well, we believe he was saying, "I'm sorry, what happened to her? It was an accident." Yeah, it was just getting good. Should have stayed there. I was live on Discord before, yes, and now I'm live here. When I put in "I'm live in chat," it's chat on Discord. Sometimes I do live chats. If nothing else happens, I'll sit in there, talk to people about everything and nothing, and then if it's a live stream, we will probably Jamie put it up, so I don't know what she put up, but we will put up something about we're going live now or something like that.
Oh, I just tagged the stream so they can click on it and put at Muffin Tops.
Oh,
I don't put any blurbs.
this is why Wendy doesn't do TikTok.
I love TikTok. I like scrolling on there just to see the crap on there.
I'm so annoyed. I get all these stupid, when you have the short videos and you press on something because you think, oh, that looks interesting, and then you get into just the next one, and all these stupid dance videos. It's fade to black. Did you did not miss much? Oh, you probably missed the best part of it. Jess is something up about this is what?
Mm-mm.
Again, for those of you who are new here, the reason we have black screen right now is
Whatever part of the trial that she would be able to.
All right. Then, do you have any comment on that, Mr. Wilder?
Yeah, we would object to that. Listen, I don't want to object to anything. I want to, this is about the family that I love. And, listen, I'm responsible for what happened to her. I didn't mean it.
he clearly says what happened to her. I didn't mean it.
I don't expect you to comment.
All right.
So let's get back to live.
All right. Ms. Court, please back to session.
Okay, please be seated. Okay, we're back on the record in State versus Madden, CR 22-121675. The jurors are not present at this time. Counsel for the state, Mr. Burris and Mr. Hahn are present, along with Detective Horton, and Mr. Madden appears in person with counsel, Mr. Wilder. Just a few housekeeping details before we get started today. Counsel should have found on their table a packet of the jury instructions. Those are draft instructions. I don't expect you to comment on those today. I just wanted to give you a working copy so that as we go through the evidence in this case, you're able to make comments and request additions or corrections to those. The other thing I wanted to bring attention is we do have the media covering the trial. I have instructed that the jurors will not be.
This is replay.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the same thing she just
We would
said.
object to that.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't want to object to anything. I just want to.
Yeah.
I
I think they cut the feed.
This is about the family that I love.
No, this is live.
And listen. I'm
Something he just said.
responsible for what happened to her. I didn't mean it.
Look, it's live.
I know, but I don't
And
know
now
what
it
they're
died.
doing.
So we weren't back.
No.
I don't know what's happening.
Well, it's back on the door, so maybe they just
Yeah.
messing with stuff.
Clearly, he says, "What happened to her? I didn't mean it." So that to me that's hard to blame innocence when, well, you have to know.
I mean, I don't know what he's talking about. Who knows?
This is the strangest ever so far.
All right, we're back.
We're back on the record in State versus Madden. Again, the jurors are not present on behalf of the state. Our assistant prosecutors, Brad Burris and Michael
Yeah, I can't bring that up while we have it live, Jess.
Hahn, and Detective Horton is also present. In addition, Mr. Madden is present with his counsel, Mr. Wilder. Mr. Wilder, is there any need do we need to address anything before the jurors are brought in?
Yes, I do believe we should, Your Honor, given what just occurred in court. I'm a little concerned about Mr. Madden's emotional state on seeing some of his family members. And at the chance that may repeat itself in front of the jury, I certainly don't want anything like that to be prejudicial to his defense or his case or his interests. So I do believe at this time, Mr. Madden, because of those reasons, the emotion of this and his family being here, I think he is preferring to be somewhere else in the courtroom, the courthouse, to watch by video, because I don't believe he can get through the portion of this, especially the beginning, without having the emotion he just displayed in court just a few moments ago.
Okay, Mr. Madden, you've heard Mr. Wilder's representation. Is that your, as what he expressed to the court, how you desire to proceed today?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And
Why not just plead guilty, you idiot?
Haven't seen, look at haven't seen my family and down and hurt. I'm just look at I feel.
well, it appears that you have regained your composure, and I do want you to have a fair trial and to be able to participate with your counsel in your defense. We've gone over a number of cases in the past talking about disruptions in the courtroom. Those include Illinois versus Allen, 90 Supreme Court, 1057.
That's the rule.
Illinois
that's money.
versus Allen. Oh, I'm sick of that one. Yeah, that's the Darrell Brooks one.
Yeah. No, his lawyer doesn't have a mohawk. It's the prosecution who has that slick back thing. So yes, I can't do anything to do with it. So it's because there's no audio pickup over there. But you just admitted to it. Didn't be a big man. Admit to doing it and get out of here.
And out of
Why is this man crying? Because he stabulated his girlfriend 55 times and just admitted he did it. And then we cut the court feed for half an hour and for 20 minutes maybe. And now we are trying to start the case up again.
our Court of Appeals in the 12th District,
Gave me the peanut gallery.
State versus Cook, 2021 Ohio, 2157. And State versus Kilgore, 2006 Ohio, 2139. And as I indicated to you previously, we must have decorum in this courtroom and proceed without disruption. But I want to give you the opportunity to be here, but I can't let you disrupt the proceedings. So I'm going to give you one final caution and ask that you keep the decorum that these proceedings require. And if you fail to do that, I will have you removed from the courtroom, and we will take you to another room where you can view the trial on television, and but you will not be in the courtroom so that we can proceed with these matters.
This is his sixth lawyer, and he tried to fire him back in January.
Mr. Burrs, is there anything that you wish to put on the record at this time?
I'm in agreement with the court. I was just going to say, I don't think he's had an outburst yet in front of the jury that warrants removal at this point.
Very well. Okay, and is there anything that you wanted to put on the record before we bring the jurors in?
I mean, the statement was made in front of defense counsel. I do feel like I probably have to supplement discovery in some way, so I will make an oral supplemental motion as to the statements that Mr. Madden made to family members in front of media. It's not actually supplemental in front of the court as well, it's on record. And then I will do a written supplemental discovery later on today when we get out tomorrow. I don't want to use the word prejudice, but obviously Mr. Wilder was right next to him, so he would all statements.
We stopped the proceedings after you had raised the issue of the victim's representative being in the courtroom and exercising her constitutional rights under Marcy's law. You heard the objection. Did you have any response that you wish to offer with regards to that?
I don't know.
All right. At this time, I am going to permit the victim's representative to remain in the courtroom. Is there an expectation that that representative will be testifying at some point during the trial?
I believe she'll be the first one.
All right. Okay. And the court will find then that that there will be little to no prejudice given that the witness will be the first witness to testify. But if we need to revisit that issue, we certainly can do that. Okay. Anything else before, or do we need a few minutes
And he had a suitcase with meth in it too, so there's a lot of similarities.
before we start with opening statements?
Mr. Hahn's going to do the opening statement. I believe he's to go.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and bring the jurors in.
Judge, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I would make a motion for separation of witnesses. I don't know if you want to do that now or
Sure,
after
let's go ahead and
opening,
do
but the defense would move to separate all witnesses in this case, so no one's able to hear the testimony of the other before they're called to the stand.
And Mr. Burris, on that issue, I've already ruled that the victim's representative may remain in the courtroom. Are there any?
I'm going to make a prediction, Jamie.
Hmm.
No, I'm going to put up a poll. I need a good poll. Will he stay in court through opening statements? Yeah, because I don't think he's going to make it through opening statements because this guy, I don't know.
either.
I don't know if he's playing or if he's acting or whatever he's doing, but he's going to be disruptive as all heck.
He sure seems like it.
No, this guy didn't really do the wine. He did the meth.
Any other witnesses in the courtroom that you anticipate will testify?
Are you
I don't have
stroking?
the state of Ohio, however, I do believe Mr.
Nope.
Wilder has at least
Oh,
verbally indicated to me.
I have both my hands over the table.
Oh, she's on your list too.
Yeah, but I'm not intending on calling her, but I'm not playing games with you now, I'm just saying. She is in the courtroom and you did verbally indicate to me that you may call her as a witness. So
All right, so
that's
she-
the one for you, that's one for you
Okay.
to address.
And just so the record's clear, that was on the list that the prosecutor gave me through email. Her name is on that list. I don't know if I would call her or not, so I would consider her a defense witness at this point and ask her to leave the courtroom.
Very well, thank you.
And I would also reiterate, I'm asking for my client to be addressed, because I don't think he should be in this courtroom in front of this jury the way he's acting right now. I think it's prejudicial to him to do this in front of the jury. So I'm asking for him to be addressed on whether his appearance, he will waive it or go upstairs, because I think it would impact his defense in this case.
All right. And again, I will rely on the cases that I previously cited, and I'm going to proceed with caution on this issue.
They have extra security on this trial because he has been fighting deputies before.
So as to give Mr. Madden the fair trial that he deserves, and that we will have to see where things go, but I hope that he'll be able to remain collected and
writing.
assist in his defense. With regard to separation of witnesses, I will grant that motion, again, permitting the victim's representative to remain in the courtroom as well as Detective Horton, who is the state's designee. Okay, so with that, anyone that, other than those two individuals that expects to testify in this trial will need to leave the courtroom, and we can bring the jurors in at this time.
Judge, he's indicated he doesn't want to be in here.
All right.
I understand.
I made my ruling, and I'm going to stand by that at this time.
So he's going to be kicked out now? Oh,
No, she said she's keeping him here until he causes a problem.
okay, so,
But he-
and then he
but-
said he wants to leave now, and he was told. he
Yeah,
can't
and she
leave.
said my ruling stands or whatever. So that's just gonna make problems for sure.
Yeah. 88% so far thinks he won't make it through opening statements.
Please be seated. I'm going to start by thanking you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. It's not our practice to delay the proceedings, but sometimes things happen that necessitate that. I will assure you that we have been working.
No, not that I know. He just claims innocence. So opening statements will show us what it is.
Is he claiming innocent after he just made a confession? I don't understand
Jamie-
what's going on with this guy.
Jamie, the jury wasn't in the room, and that's why the state said we are probably going to go and do a discovery on what was just said in trial
Yeah.
today, because the media heard it.
God.
Thank you, RJ. It's we try to.
Diligently outside of your presence. And again, I appreciate your patience. So at this time, I'm going to give you some opening instructions. And before we hear the opening statements of counsel and begin to take evidence, it may be helpful if you have some preliminary instructions to help you follow in listening to and considering the evidence. Later, after you have heard all of the evidence and the closing arguments of counsel, I will give you further instructions on the law. It is the duty of the judge to instruct you on the law, and it is your duty to follow the law as I will state it to you now and from time to time during the trial and at the conclusion of the final arguments. You, the jury, have the exclusive duty to decide all questions of fact submitted to you. In connection with this duty, you must determine the effect and the value of the evidence. You must not be influenced in your decision by sympathy, prejudice, or passion toward any party, witness, or attorney in this case. If in these instructions or in the instructions I may give you later, any principle or idea is repeated or stated in different ways, no emphasis is intended and you shall infer none. You must not single out any particular instruction and ignore others. You are to consider all of the instructions as a whole and are to consider each instruction in relation to the other instructions. The fact that I give you some instructions now, others during the course of the trial, and further instructions after final arguments has no significance as to their relative importance, nor does the order in which I give you the instructions. In the event you should experience a personal problem during the course of the trial, you may explain the matter to Mr. Halcomb and the message will be relayed to me. The attorneys for the parties will, of course, have active roles in the trial. They will make opening statements, question witnesses, make objections, and finally will argue the case as the last step before you hear my final instructions and commence your deliberations. Remember at all times that the lawyers are
We are just at 1.25 to get through it.
not witnesses. And since it is your duty to decide the case solely on the evidence you see or hear in this case, you must not consider as evidence any statement of any attorney made during the trial. There is an exception, and that is if the attorneys agree as to any fact. That agreement, stipulation, or admission of fact will be brought to your attention, and you may then regard that fact as being conclusively proved without the necessity of further evidence on that fact. During the course of the trial, the court may instruct you to disregard certain statements of a witness or of counsel. This may be a difficult concept for some jurors. The court does not anticipate that you will literally forget or delete from your minds the matter that you have actually heard. The instruction means that if or when you remember anything that you have been instructed to disregard, you must say to yourself, I cannot consider or be influenced by that in any way or for any purpose. Obviously, the forbidden matter must not be mentioned or otherwise be a part of your deliberations. If a question is asked and an objection to the question is sustained, you will not hear the answer. You must not speculate as to what the answer might have been or as to the reason for the objection. If an answer is given to a question and the court then grants a motion to strike the answer, you are to completely disregard that question and the answer. You will not consider them for any purpose. A question in and of itself is not evidence and may be considered by you only as it supplies meaning to the answer. When an objection is made, it does not mean that someone is trying to conceal some evidence from you. There are rules governing the admissibility of evidence which must be followed, and the court attempts to accomplish this by ruling on the objections. The objection is made to call the court's attention to a perceived transgression of the rules. Over the centuries, the law has determined what evidence is reliable and what evidence is not reliable. In order to preserve the integrity of the trial, each side attempts to ensure that only reliable evidence is presented to the jury. This is usually the reason for an objection. There will be occasions when the attorneys approach the bench and speak to the court out of your hearing.
What's his deal? I don't know. Probably massive drug use because he was caught with 300 grams of meth. He claims that one of his claims is that someone offed his wife because he owed them money for the meth.
You must not speculate as to these discussions which concern points of law because they are not evidence, and it would be unfair to all parties before the court for the jury to consider these discussions, which are not part of the evidence upon which you will base your decision. As jurors, you also have the sole and exclusive duty to decide the credibility of the witnesses who will testify in this case. This simply means that it is you, the jury, who must decide whether to believe or disbelieve a particular witness. In making this determination, you will apply the tests of truthfulness which apply in your daily lives. There are several tests of truthfulness, one of which is the bias or interest, if any, of a witness. That is, if a witness has a personal, philosophical, or financial interest in the outcome of a case, that fact shall be considered in determining the weight to be given to that witness's testimony. Other tests of truthfulness which you shall consider include the appearance of each witness upon the stand, his or her manner of testifying, the intelligence of the witness, the reasonableness of the testimony, the opportunity the witness had to see, hear, and know the things about which he or she testified, his or her accuracy of memory, frankness or lack of it, together with all the facts and circumstances surrounding the testimony. Apply these tests and assign to each witness's testimony the weight you deem proper. You are not required to believe the testimony of any witness simply because it was given under oath. You may believe or disbelieve all or any part of the testimony of any witness. You should not decide any issue of fact merely on the basis of the number of witnesses who testify on each side of that issue. Rather, the final test in judging the evidence should be the force and the weight of the evidence, regardless of the number of witnesses on each side of an issue. The testimony of one witness, believed by you, is sufficient to prove any fact. If there are discrepancies in a witness's testimony or between any witness's testimony and the testimony of other witnesses, this does not necessarily mean that you should disbelieve the witness, as people commonly forget facts or recollect them differently after the passage of time. You are all certainly aware that two persons who are witnesses to an event may see or hear it differently. In considering a discrepancy in a witness's testimony, you should consider whether that discrepancy concerns an important fact or a trivial one. Should you in the course of your deliberations conclude that any witness has intentionally testified falsely to a material fact, you are free to disregard all of that witness's testimony on the principle that one who testifies falsely as to one material fact may also testify falsely as to other facts. You are not required, however, in all circumstances to consider such a witness unworthy of belief. You may accept so much of that witness's testimony as you believe to be true and reject only that portion which you conclude is false. Now, you should have notebooks in hand. Okay, I want to talk with you about note-taking. During this trial, I will permit you to take notes, and the court has provided you with pencils and notepaper for your convenience. For many years, the practice of juror note-taking was discouraged because the taking of notes distracts your mind from the evidence that is presented while you are busy taking notes. The other reason was that the best note-taker might have more influence on other jurors than is wanted. Remember, each of you must individually determine the issues in this case. It is your responsibility to observe the witnesses as they testify and to listen attentively to all the testimony. At the end of the case and deliberations, your collective minds will then reach a verdict. The notes are only to be used as a memory aid and should not be allowed to take precedence over jurors' independent memories of facts. Please understand that testimony cannot be repeated, nor the trial delayed to permit the taking of accurate notes. It is your responsibility to observe the witnesses and to listen to the testimony. There is no requirement that you take notes.
We are
At this
just
time, we are going to hear the opening statements. And the opening statements of counsel are concise and orderly descriptions of each side's claims and defenses and the evidence counsel expects to produce in support of those claims and defenses. They are previews of the respective cases designed to give you some perspective on the evidence. Opening statements are not evidence. Each side may address you once during opening statements, and in accordance with the rules that govern these proceedings, the state will speak first. Okay, on behalf of the state.
Thank you.
Finally. And we're live and we're back down to normal speed. That perfectly, Jamie, I am the best streamer. I know everything.
Yeah, you do.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm always hating on the no note judges because I need notes when I do jury duty. So note takers are very, very welcome in my channel.
As you can see here, I have an opening
Take
statement
notes, don't
prepared.
take notes, whatever.
However, sometimes things happen where you have to change on the fly. So I'm still going to give you this opening statement. However, I'm going to tell you something first up front. So probably 30 minutes ago from now, you all were back in the jury room. Mr. Madden was brought into the courtroom here. The record was on. We had to deal with some preliminary matters before you were all brought in.
Right.
Mr. Madden saw Michaela Madden in the back of the courtroom and the rest of family members. And he turned to them and said, as he made a motion of this, I'm responsible for what happened to her. I didn't mean it. I love you. That was recorded, and you're going to hear that recording during this trial. You're also going to hear from witnesses that also heard it. Detective Horton heard it. He was sitting here. Michaela heard it. She was sitting there. He was talking right to her. You're going to hear that in this trial. And now my plan is to
just for finding this trial.
Give my opening statement that I did have prepared and explain to you what he didn't mean to do. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 55. That's the number that I want all of you to remember. You're going to hear that number a lot.
Yes, because they were on the record, and he will get either the court reporter to give him the testimony, or he will call Lawn and Crim and say, bitte, kan I have the audio? Which in broken German means, can I please have the audio of this? So they're going to play him crying and admitting.
I love that he's just cool about it. He's like, I mean, we really don't need to do this opening statement, and I'll just play this recording. And Oh, no, oh my God. That's funny.
I love this case already. Well, he didn't accidentally do it, but he just admitted in court he did it.
Yeah, he
On the
just admitted
record.
it. God. Uh,
Well, sadly, they got started a bit late, so we'll probably have to be here tomorrow. Das kannst du auch morgens haben.
Throughout this trial. And that's because that's the number of times that Toby Madden, that man sitting right there, stabbed Rachelle Brewsaugh on October 11th of 2022 and killed her. 55. He stabbed his girlfriend of over 20 years and the mother of his child 55 times. And because of this stabbing, he was charged and indicted on 4 counts. And I think it's important, I know you heard it already from the judge in voir dire, but I think it's important that you hear the indictment, and I'm going to read it to you. And I think it's important because I want you to understand these charges, and I want all of you to understand the elements that the state's going to prove to you throughout this trial. Count 1, murder. On or about October 11th of 2022 in Butler County, Ohio, Toby L. Madden did purposely cause the death of Rachelle Brewsaugh, which constitutes the offense of murder, an unclassified felony in violation of revised code 290302 and against the peace and dignity of the state of Ohio.
I think he has a felony from 88 or something for aggravated. Other than that, he's serving 19 years for 300 grams of meth.
Count 2, murder. On or about October 11th, 2022, in Butler County, Ohio, Toby L. Madden did cause the death of Rachelle Brewsaugh as a proximate result of the offender's committing or attempting to commit an offense of violence that is a felony of the first or second degree, and that is not a violation of section 290303 or 290304 of the revised code, which constitutes the offense of murder, unclassified felony in violation of 290302B. Count 3, felonious assault. And then in parentheses, serious physical harm. On or about October 11th of 2022, in Butler County, Ohio, Toby L. Madden did knowingly cause serious physical harm to Rachelle Brewsaugh, which constitutes the offense of felonious assault, serious physical harm, second-degree felony in violation of 290311A1. And finally, count 4, felonious assault with a deadly weapon. On or about October 11th of 2022, in Butler County, Ohio, Toby L. Madden did knowingly cause or attempt to cause physical harm to Rachelle Brewsaugh by means of a deadly weapon or dangerous ordinance, which constitutes the offense of felonious assault with a deadly weapon, second-degree felony in violation of 290311A2. That's what he's been charged with for what happened on October 11th of 2022. So I'm going to take you back to that time. On October 11th of 2022, Toby Madden and Rachelle Brewsaugh were living in a house at 1270 Parish Avenue in the city of Hamilton, Butler County, Ohio. They were living there and they were renovating that residence at the same time. And on October 11th of 2022, Rachelle had called the city of Hamilton, the utilities department, and asked that the gas be turned on because they didn't have any gas service there. So at 8 a.m. on October 11th of 2022, 4 city of Hamilton utility workers came out to the residence at 1270. And you're going to hear from all 4 of them. They're going to explain to you how they went up to the door, knocked at 8 a.m. She answered. She let them in. She had a big dog. They had a big dog in this residence. She showed them the way to the basement. They needed to go see the furnace and do some work on the furnace. So she showed them the way to the basement, and she sat on the couch near the front door holding the dog so the dog wouldn't bother them. And as they go downstairs into the basement, they go through an adjacent room right next to where she's sitting on the couch with the dog. And these city workers are going to tell you that there was a male in a chair covered by a blanket, and he was sitting there sleeping. He didn't get up. He was just there. He didn't say anything to him. So they go downstairs into the basement, and they run their tests on the gas lines, but apparently there's something wrong with the furnace. The furnace doesn't work, so they cannot turn on the gas. So around 8:30 a.m., they go back upstairs out of the basement. They tell Rachelle, the male's still sleeping in the chair. I believe he tells one of the workers, like, what's up, or something to that effect. They walk past him. They go into that front room with Rachelle sitting there with the dog, and they tell her, I'm sorry, we can't turn the gas on to your house. The furnace is broken, and you need to get the furnace fixed first. And they leave at about 8:30 a.m., all 4 of them. And they're all 4 going to tell you that they saw Rachelle as they left, and she was alive and well. And that the house, furniture is not in any disarray. The furniture that is in there is in its correct place. So the next thing you're going to hear, then is at noon, so 3.5 hours later, Hamilton Police Department gets a 911 call. And they respond out because Rachelle's been stabbed and killed. So you're going to hear from first responders, Officer Katie Johnson and Officer Taras Volchikov, who at the time was with Hamilton PD in 2022. He's no longer with HPD. He's now with Warren County. But you're going to hear from I'm sorry, she's a detective now, but Officer Johnson at the time.
Yeah, you'll have to go
you're gonna
back
hear
and
from
check
her,
it.
and she's going to tell you
I'll
how
try and
when she
find it
arrives, she
when
goes
we're-
into the house, and there's Toby Madden on top of Rachelle trying to do CPR on what is clearly a deceased person. She pulls him off, gets him outside, hands him off to Officer Volchikov, who takes him outside to the sidewalk. And what else? The other thing that Officer Johnson's going to tell you is that when she goes through that house, there's absolutely no signs of forced entry by anyone. Doors are locked, back doors locked. You're going to see these pictures. There's no breaks in the door jamb, in the front door. Windows are intact. And Officer Volchikov is going to tell you that, yes, he was acting hysterically inside when Officer Johnson went in there and pulled him off. But as he gets Toby Madden outside on the sidewalk, Toby then asks for a cigarette and then wants to go back inside because he says he needs to get his jacket and his wallet. Of course, Officer Volchikov doesn't allow this, and Toby gets mad at Officer Volchikov for that. The next thing you're going to hear is you're going to hear from Ann Mayers. Ann Mayers is a neighbor who lived at 1260 Parish Avenue, which is right next door, and these houses are close together. She's going to testify.
I think when we covered the Adam Montgomery trial, what's her name, Kayla something, testified that she was sleeping because she had been partying for 3 days. So I think at some point your body just shuts down. But don't know it, don't do it, won't do it. So I don't know how it reacts. Jamie is our local drug addict.
She's going to tell you that she was sitting on her porch in the morning around 9 a.m., between 9 and 9:30.
Sorry, not an addict.
And she sat out there every morning with her sister that she lived with and drank her coffee. This morning was a little different on October 11th. She heard a scream. And she said that she's going to tell you that it comes from the direction of 1270, so her left, as she's sitting on the porch. But she's also going to tell you that at that time, on October 11th of 2022, she was 73 years old. And she wore hearing aids, and she didn't have them in that morning. But she still heard the scream, but she wasn't exactly sure what it was. She's going to tell you she didn't know if it was a woman screaming or if it were kids playing in the neighborhood. So she didn't do anything about it. She went inside, and she's going to tell you that she went inside and ate breakfast. But then when she comes back outside after breakfast, she's going to tell you that now there's police activity in there, out in the yard and in the street, because she didn't come back out for a while. And she watched all that police activity, and she heard Toby Madden tell police officers out in the yard that there were 3 city workers that came into my house. You're also going to hear from Michaela, Rachelle's daughter, Toby's daughter. She's going to tell you about her parents' relationship. She's going to tell you how they moved from place to place over the years. She's going to tell you about the on-again and off-again nature of their relationship and the bumpy relationship. She's going to also tell you, as I said before, what he just said to her right here in this courtroom while the record was running. You're also going to hear from Detective Aaron Huckey. He works with the Hamilton Police Department. He's going to testify and tell you that he arrived at the scene on October 11th of 2022. And the first thing that he noticed when he went into that house at 1270 Parish is he's going to tell you how he's hit with the smell of rubbing alcohol. And then he's going to explain to you how he goes through that house and he takes pictures, inside and outside. And you're going to see all these pictures for yourself. And you're going to see in these pictures that there is no forced entry. You're going to see in these pictures there was clearly a struggle inside of this house at 1270 Parish. There's going to be an entertainment center overturned, other furniture pushed around, out of place. And you're going to see the pictures of Rachelle's body laying on the floor, deceased, with 55 stab wounds in her body. And the blood that is all over the wall and the window and the floor. Then you're going to hear from Dr. Russell Updegrove, who performed the autopsy on Rachelle's body. He's going to explain to you how he performs an autopsy and how he performed the autopsy on her body. And he's going to guide you through the pictures of the autopsy. And you're going to see in those pictures the stab wounds that are in her legs, that are in her arms, in her back, in her
He's been going through his own attorney and 5 public defense attorneys. He tried to get rid of his last one too, but the judge wouldn't let him.
torso and in her head. And then he's going to go through the pictures of the piercing wounds through her liver, through her lungs, and through her heart that all came from 55 stab wounds. Then you're going to hear from Detective Robert Horton. He's the leading investigator in this case. And he's going to tell you that on October 11th of 2022, that he interviewed Toby Madden. And that Toby Madden implied to him that 3 utility workers from the city of Hamilton did this. They killed Rachelle. And he's also going to tell you that Toby Madden told him in that interview that people were out to get him. And then he follows that up with, but he doesn't know anyone that would want to hurt Rachelle.
Så godt, Lene.
And Detective Horton is going to tell you how he photographed Toby Madden. Photographed scratches on his arms, on his torso, and on his chest. He's going to tell you that on October 11th at the scene, that he collected a black backpack at the scene that contained a red-handled Swiss Army knife. And that Swiss Army knife appeared to be wet. And he's going to tell you how he went to Rachelle's autopsy. And he collected the Black Planet Fitness t-shirt that she was wearing when she was murdered. And you're going to see the holes in that shirt. And he's also going to tell you that he collected a sample of her DNA when he went to that autopsy. And then he's going to tell you that about 2 weeks after the murder, he discovers that Toby Madden went to Kroger the night before the murder on October 10th. And he went to the Kroger on Route 4 and Grand Boulevard in the city of Hamilton. And that's very, very close to 1270 Parish. And he's going to tell you that he pulls video from Kroger. And you'll see the video, and you'll see the still shots from it. And Detective Horton takes note of what Toby Madden is wearing in that video. He's got on a green vest and a gray shirt. And he purchases some candy bars and miscellaneous items. And Detective Horton is then going to tell you how because of that video...
I haven't seen any pre-trial motions. I just got this case yesterday by Jess. Only thing I've seen so far is he claims someone was out to get him because he lost 300 grams of meth when the police took him in.
Those clothes that he was wearing on October 10th, he obtains a search warrant, goes back into 1270 Parish, and then he finds that green vest and that gray shirt in the basement and finds that Kroger bag. And when he finds that green vest and gray shirt he sees blood on it. And these are different from the clothes that Toby Madden was wearing when the police showed up on October 11th. As you'll see in the pictures, he has on a bright yellowish neon colored shirt. And then the next thing you're going to hear is from Detective Doug Trenum. Detective Trenum went in on October 11th into 1270 Parish, and he saw blood stains in the bathroom sink. They were visible to the naked eye, and he collected those blood samples. And he's also going to tell you that there were blood stains and blood in that sink that wasn't visible to the naked eye. And he's going to explain to you how he figured that out and how he found those. And he collected those samples of that blood. He's also going to explain to you that 2 weeks later, after Detective Horton finds these clothes, Detective Trenum takes blood samples off of the green vest and the gray shirt. And he sends all of those samples up to the Bureau of Criminal Investigation in London, Ohio. Now, you'll probably hear all of us refer to that as BCI, but that is the Bureau of Criminal Investigation. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear from Catherine Daly from BCI. And she's going to come down here and she's going to tell you she's a forensic scientist and that she tested all of these samples that were sent to them from the Hamilton Police Department. And what she's going to tell you is that Rachelle's blood is in that sink. Rachelle's blood is on that green vest. Rachelle's blood's on that gray shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, every trial is like a puzzle. When you build a puzzle, and in that trial, every witness that you hear from, they're giving you pieces to that puzzle. Every exhibit that you're going to see is giving you pieces to that puzzle. And as you all know, when you do a puzzle as a kid or whoever does them, even still now, when you're putting that puzzle together, you figure out what the picture is even before you get all the pieces. And throughout this trial, you're going to get those pieces. And you're going to see that that puzzle reveals Toby Madden. And we're going to stand back up here and we're going to ask you to find him guilty on all 4 counts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hahn. Mr. Wilder, do you wish to make an opening statement at this time?
Judge, will we have a quick sidebar?
Sure.
Oh, sidebar.
Oh, boy.
Confess, 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 confess,
Yeah.
confess.
Don't
We
make
never
me go
had
through
a-
all this.
We never had a 1-hour trial, Jamie. Let's do it.
Look at him. What are you thinking, buddy?
Yeah. It was boring, but yeah. Well, I'm not going to Ohio because Jamie told me that it's worse than Sweden.
I've only been to Ohio for Cedar Point. Oh, and the Toledo Zoo. I like the Toledo Zoo.
Yeah, let's get it doing. We can do it in less than 1 hour. You have oh well, this has been going for a little over an hour.
Mr. Wilder.
Yes, just reasons to say the sidebar, which I'm going to now. The defense at this time is not making an opening statement, but we reserve
They are preserving their opening statement.
the right to make that opening statement during our case in chief.
Very well. All right, could the state please call its first witness?
Yes, Your Honor, State of Ohio, call Michaela Madden, please.
I
my
always
God.
love it when the defense reserves their time. That means they don't have that much.
That means everything he was going to say is now out the window.
Yeah, I was really hoping to say, nope. Yes, he's jailed because he has a 19-year sentence in a meth case. So he chose to start doing that because he didn't want to be in jail. He wanted to be in prison. We've seen it in 2 cases, Jamie,
What?
where they opted out of doing opening statement. The Vicene trial and another one where they ended. The defense was like 5 seconds or something like that. It was nothing.
Yeah.
We had one where they didn't do an opening statement. They didn't bring any witnesses, and just did a closing statement, kind of like, "Please don't find them guilty."
Mhm.
I've just been to Tennessee, Melissa. Not much.
You may proceed, Mr. Burris.
No, he claimed that he had some problems at the jail. That's why he started doing his 19-year sentence while he's also appealing that 19-year sentence. I did my facts this time. Well, I didn't, but I read something.
What would the court like to put on?
Wherever's comfortable for you is fine.
Yeah.
Are all of the jurors able to see the witness stand with the podium there? Okay, that'll be fine.
Hey, Michelle Dunn. Everyone, let's do a quick recap before we go to the first witness. The defendant admitted doing it on the record before trial started. Then he started bawling, was taken out of the courtroom. Jury wasn't present, but it was on the record. So that will be played at some times during this trial, probably a lot of times during this trial. The case is about a man stabulating his girlfriend through, I believe, 27 years, maybe 21 years. I don't do homework. And 55 times from the head to her knees. And he claims that someone, because he got picked up in that drug bust, was after him and unalived her because of that. That's what I know. No insanity plea. He has been tested. He has had 6 different lawyers. He wanted to go pro se, but the judge said, probably a good idea after seeing the first hour. Yes, Jamie is in Michigan.
That's me.
Good afternoon, young lady. Would you please state your name for the record and spell your first and last name, please?
Michaela Madden. It's MC capital K AYLA. Last name Madden MADDEN.
And I apologize, Your Honor. I forgot to ask Miss Madden. I know there's recording going on, TV recording.
Can she get a microphone?
Proceedings are being filmed. Do you have any objection to being filmed?
Thank you, Judge. I apologize. And Miss Madden, what part of town do you currently live in?
Westchester, Ohio.
Now I'm going to give you a few names.
This is the
Tell me
daughter.
how it is that you know these individuals. Do you know a person by the name of Rachelle Brewsaugh?
Yes, she's my mother.
Okay. And do you know an individual by the name of Toby Madden?
Yes, my father.
Okay. Do you see Toby Madden in the courtroom today? If you could please point to him and describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what it is he's wearing.
He's wearing a plaid shirt and khakis.
Okay, Your Honor, I've asked the record to reflect the witness as identified the defendant, Toby Madden.
The record will so reflect.
And ma'am, how old are you right now?
I'm 26.
Okay. And are your parents married?
No,
Are they boyfriend and girlfriend?
I guess you can say.
Okay. Do you know how long they have been in a relationship?
Probably 28 years.
Okay. Probably ever since you were around the time you were born and
Before
leading up
me.
to that? Okay.
Too.
And
Sadly, 73% of you were wrong. He made it through opening statements.
you were here in the courtroom before the jury came out, weren't you?
Yes,
Okay. Where were you seated?
over in the corner right there.
Okay, were you seated in probably the
Third row.
third row? And whereabouts were you seated?
By the window.
Okay. Did you see your father, Toby Madden, walk into the courtroom?
Yes.
Okay. At some point, did you hear Toby Madden say something to you,
Yes,
or say something really in front of a lot of people?
yes, in front of
Okay.
everyone.
Okay. The detective was there,
Yes,
the media was there,
yes.
okay. What did you hear your dad say to you?
I'm sorry.
Because until today, he claimed he didn't do it. I don't know.
Is she, are they having her just say
Yeah,
what he just
she's
said
going
in
to
front?
repeat it
Good
now.
Lord.
And it can't be hearsay because he's the defendant.
The detective was there,
Yes,
the media was there,
yes.
okay. What did you hear your dad say to you?
I'm sorry. We got into an altercation, and I basically am the one that did it. Basically, found it guilty. I love you. Don't hate me.
That's not what I heard.
Here he goes again. Lord.
On October 11th, 2022, the day that your mother was allegedly stabbed several times at this point, where was your mother living?
Parish Avenue.
If I told you the address was 1270 Parish Avenue, does that sound about right?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Yes. Is that located in the city of Hamilton, Butler County, Ohio?
Mhm.
Okay. And I know it's a couple years ago now, so if you don't know, it's okay. Do you know about how long your mom had been living at that address?
Not for long. She was trying to basically renovate it, get it up to date.
Do you know how it is that your mom started living there, or who helped her
My
get that house?
Aunt Sherry, she helped get establish the housing to get her somewhere where she could be stable.
Do you know when Rachelle initially moved into that residence? Did anybody move in with her? Do you know?
No, not really. It was supposed to just be for her.
Okay. Did your mom have a dog?
Yes,
Okay. Can you describe, what kind of dog your mom had?
a big fat bulldog pickle,
Okay.
gray and white.
When you say big, how big?
Oh, fat, very fat. Wide too.
Like over 100 pounds big?
He's probably 80, probably 80.
Okay. Had you ever been over to that house at 1270 Parish?
Yes,
Okay. How many times would you say that you've been there?
quite a few times to see the progress.
Okay. What was going on inside of the residence?
The flooring was being replaced. Basically, she was working on that. New cabinets were coming in. She's getting some furniture in the house.
At some point, did you become aware that your father, Toby, sort of moved into that house?
Yes,
Do you know in relation to when it is, I'm sorry, strike that, let me ask it this way. Do you know how long that your mother had been living at that house on 1270 Parish before your dad moved in?
probably the end of September.
Okay. So Toby did not move in right away.
No.
And actually, if I can approach the lead.
Okay.
And I apologize.
Is he wearing a lapel mic and that's why it's so bad? This is really, really bad.
I'm showing defense counsel what's been marked as State's Exhibit 4. I may approach you.
Okay.
Do you recognize what's in State's Exhibit number 4?
Yes,
Okay. What is in State's Exhibit number 4?
the parish house that she was living in.
Okay. Does that photograph truly, fairly, and accurately depict
Yes.
the residence?
Yes.
Or not ask for permission to publish to the jury?
Any objection, Mr. Wilder?
No objection.
All right, motion is granted.
You want it up here?
I think is it going to go on the?
I don't mind them having lapel mics. I actually prefer them having lapel mics because I think it's first year in law school. MG, you can correct me if I'm wrong. First year in law school, they are taught math isn't real and microphone has the cooties like girls. So stay away from them. Because no lawyer knows how to find a microphone in a courtroom, even if it's right in front of them.
What do I need to do?
Using your computer or,
I was going to use the computer. Sorry.
Thank you. Brandon, you're late. He already tested. He already admitted he did it. We're just going through the motions.
Should I use Elmo?
yeah.
It's on our screen.
Yeah, or stay away from the table mics.
All right, it should be on the screen in front of you as well. What are we looking at in State's Exhibit number 4?
The Parish Avenue house.
Okay, that's a house that your mom, well, I'm sorry, that your aunt was renting or kind of on a land contract for your
Land
mom.
contract.
Is it blue? I like that blue color.
On October 11th, 2022, you can tell me that if you need to. Was your mom working somewhere?
Yeah.
Where was she working?
It was Magnolia Groves in Loveland, Ohio.
Okay. And what was her job there?
She was a nurse.
Prior to your mom moving into 1270 Parish Avenue, do you know where your mom was living?
She was staying with my cousin for a while. Ginger Halcombe.
Okay. At some point, was your mom living down in Covington?
Yes.
Okay, do you know the time frame of when your mom was living in Covington?
It would have to be, sorry, my brain. Probably around, I want to say June 2022.
Okay. Do you know how long she had lived down in Covington?
Not for long.
Okay. Who was she living down in Covington with?
Cookie.
Your dad?
Mhm.
Okay. Have you ever been down to Covington to see
Yes.
your mom and your dad?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever hear your dad have an argument with Rachelle regarding her not being faithful?
Yes.
Tell us about that if you would, please.
Many times he would accuse her of cheating or being a prostitute, but she was not.
All right.
Did you and your mom live together at some point prior to Covington?
Yeah.
Where did you guys live?
Athens in Loveland, Ohio, a townhome.
Townhome? Why did you get, I'm sorry, who was the first one that got that townhome?
Me and my mom.
Okay. Is there anybody else that was living with you there?
My daughter's father.
Okay. Were your daughters living there as well? I'm sorry. Your
Yeah,
daughter?
yeah.
At some point,
All I know is during the pretrial motions, he has been removed from the courtroom. He has tried to fire his lawyers. He have attacked officers of the court. That's why you can see when we pan over to him, there's an officer right in front of him because they are afraid he's going to act out again. We haven't gone that far into the trial yet.
did Toby move into that apartment or a townhome?
Yes.
I assume you weren't too happy about that?
No.
Safe to say your mom and dad had an on and off again relationship over the years?
Very.
I think I just have 2 more pictures.
All right.
We can speed this up one. Take forever to ask a question.
This guy
But
is a
she's
slow
good.
talker.
She keeps the streak alive. She didn't say my boyfriend or my husband. It was my daughter's father.
I may approach witness. State's Exhibit 110. Do you recognize what is depicted in State's Exhibit 110?
Yes.
How do you know what's in State's Exhibit 110?
It's a vest that he used to wear all the time.
Okay. And who is he?
Toby Madden.
Your dad?
Yes.
Okay. You've seen your dad wear that vest?
Yes.
You're not asked for permission ask for 110 to be admitted.
Any objection, Mr. Wilder?
No objection.
All right, it'll be admitted and you may publish it.
Ms. Van Thomas, if you look at State's Exhibit 110, what is it looking at?
Breaking out his vest that he wore quite often.
Okay.
My dad used to wear a vest like that. No, they weren't separated. They were boyfriend, girlfriend, have been for 27 years, at least 28 years. I hope they fix this till tomorrow.
Well, show defense counsel. State's Exhibit 110.
This is annoying.
Showing you what's marked as State's Exhibit 179. Who is depicted in State's Exhibit 179?
My mother, Rachelle Brewsaugh.
That's a picture of her at the morgue.
Yes, it is.
Yep. I only think they have this daughter, 27 years old.
No question, Your Honor.
Thank you. Cross-examination, Mr. Wilder.
Well, we are deciding guilt or innocence because he hasn't admitted in front of the jury that he did it. He just did it on the record. So, yeah, Cinnamon Bear, I can't help you with that one. But every witness who is in the courtroom right now will be asked, what did he say? And they will say something like he admitted it. And they will play the recording from Lawn and Crim tomorrow or at some other point. Why not just take it? You're already serving 19 years. You're 55 years old. You won't survive anyway.
Good afternoon, Ms. Madden. Is it okay if I call you Michaela?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a few questions here. If you don't understand them or if they're confusing, just let me know and I'll try to rephrase them for you. Is that fair?
Yes.
I want to start with, you were questioned about something that your father said to you when he entered the courtroom today. When's the last time you saw your father?
Stabulating his wife 55 times and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He has 4 charges against him, 2 for unaliving and 2 for felonious assault. Mm, most likely some kind of stabist.
The last time I saw him, I don't know, maybe in the earliest of October of 2022.
So it's been close to 2 years.
Yes.
And fair to say that in the last 2 years, you've not had the ability to see your
Yeah.
father. Is that fair?
Yes.
Were you emotional when you saw him today, like he was when he saw you?
Yeah, I would say so.
You talked about the Parish Avenue. We saw the picture. Isn't it true that you actually took your dad, Toby, to Parish?
I've never took Toby to Parish Avenue.
How many times do you think you were over at the Parish Avenue address? I think you said several times.
Yeah, several times.
And you were over there to check on the renovation?
I was there to pick up my daughter.
So you were just there to pick your daughter up? You
Quite a
weren't
few
there to
times,
check?
and I've seen the renovations too.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that place on Parish was a mess when your mom first started trying to get that.
I mean, it
together?
wasn't put together, but it wasn't super messy. She was an OCD lady.
Did you go into Parish Avenue address every time that you went there?
Most of the time, yeah.
And you would see a lot of tools, a lot of materials trying to get that house
That
up
was me.
to shape. Is that
That was
fair?
my father.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Remodeling.
Did you speak to the neighbors around your mom at all?
No, the ones in the blue house were weird.
You said the ones in the blue house were weird.
Yeah.
Did you see any people in that area that appeared to be under the influence of drugs when you went to Parish? Did you see people out and about that appeared to be?
No, not really.
Are you aware of whether the area around Parish Avenue, which is not only 5 minutes from this courthouse, is a drug area? Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Did you notice a broken window on the Parish Avenue house?
Yes.
Were you aware that 5 days before your mom was murdered, there was a burglary at the house? Were you aware of that?
No.
When you went in the house, isn't it true that there were boards placed up in front of windows?
No.
There wasn't?
No, there was no boards placed up on the windows.
I noticed in the exhibit you were showing a picture of the house, there was an open trespassing sign. You saw that, correct?
Yeah, it's always been there.
Any indication why that's there?
The owner of the house before had it there.
And it's something that your mom kept up, correct? Were you aware if people were getting in that house trespassing?
No.
How many entrances are there to that house?
There's the back door, and then there's the front door.
Is the backyard?
No. He just admitted that he did it. So we don't hate. We regulate. No, but he said something like, "It's my." Jamie, what was it again? What
don't know
happened?
he
I
said.
didn't mean it.
I didn't mean it, but I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, but I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Someone will know word for word.
How
Can't
is this
remember.
lawyer still going to try for third party? He has to. It's his job. Yeah. Until Toby tells him, yeah, I admit, he will try and fight for him. Well, Toby hasn't admitted to him. Kinda, maybe. It's weird. I'm responsible for what happened to her. I didn't mean it, something like that.
Fenced in in any way?
No.
So if someone were walking down the street and saw Parish Avenue, they could walk to around the back of the house and.
On the sides there was fences.
I'm sorry, what?
On the sides there was fences.
Okay, so you can't, unless you live there, you couldn't get into the backyard?
Mm-mm.
So you're saying it was gated off?
Well, the back part wasn't gated off, but both sides were fenced in.
Are you aware of anyone doing work to the back door in the few days before your mother was murdered?
No.
Now, you seem to insinuate or testify that Toby wasn't supposed to be in Parish. Is that what you were trying to
I
tell us?
mean, no, he really wasn't, but he always comes. He's like a stray cat.
Like a stray cat?
Yeah, he always follows.
Were you aware that her sister Sherry had asked Toby to come and assist with some of the renovation because someone named Casey Ward was not doing his job? Was that something you're aware of?
No.
You know who Casey Ward is?
Yes, I know who Casey
Were you
is.
aware he was being provided money to help with that house?
Yes.
But you're not aware that Toby was being asked to do stuff to help up?
No.
Help. That would be news to you
Yeah.
if you found that out.
Yeah.
When you went out to Parrish these several times, you said to pick up your daughter and you saw the residence, did you ever see Toby there?
Yeah,
And was your mom Rachelle there as well?
yes.
Did you see anything unusual between the two of them when you were out there at the house, Parrish?
Look like they always are in an argument, that's for sure.
And they've been together 27 years, is that right?
28.
28 years. Do you believe that Toby was trying to assist with the renovation of all of that house?
No,
No, thanks.
sorry, no.
But fair to say that even a few days before your mom was murdered, that Toby is around the house and your mom is renovating that house on Parrish, correct?
Yeah.
And Toby is still in her life.
Yeah.
When's the last time you spoke to your father? I asked you when the last time you saw him. When's the last time you spoke to him?
He contacted me not too long ago.
Over the phone?
Mm-hmm. I answered.
Did you ever observe your mother hit Toby?
No.
You ever saw her strike him in any way? You did mention that
Now, self-defense
Toby
and
may have been
someone else.
upset or said something to the effect that your mom was cheating on him or was a prostitute. Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Is that something you heard with your own ears or is that something that someone else told you?
No, I've heard it with my own ears.
Was your mom in the presence as well or did he just
No.
tell you? Sorry, we kind of talked over there. When he said this to you, was it just you and him one-on-one?
Yes.
Your mom wasn't there?
Yes.
Did you ever know if your mom had ever hit your dad with a baseball bat or a bat of any kind?
No.
Have you ever taken your father to the hospital because of any injuries he may have received from your mother?
No.
Did you ever happen to see any video recording of an incident where your mother had done something to you?
No.
Judge, that's all I have. Oh, one more thing.
Okay.
I suppose there's not as big a one used to. I got a few more here.
Hopefully not.
You know Colleen Shaw?
Yeah.
How long have you known her?
Since I was, let's see, 6th grade.
6 or 8?
Yeah.
You know Tim Madden?
Yeah.
How do you know Tim Madden?
My uncle.
What about Bailey Shaw?
Yeah.
How do you know Bailey?
That's Colleen's son.
When's the last time you talked to Colleen?
Not too long ago.
To your knowledge, is Colleen a friend of Toby and Rachelle's?
Was my mom's friend, yeah.
Same thing with Bailey? She's friends.
That's her son.
Would he be friends with Toby and Rachelle?
I guess you could say. Not really friends, because again, you know.
Are you aware that Colleen Shaw used to hang out with your mom and dad? Does
Yeah.
anything about? Did that happen a lot?
Might when we were younger, yeah. When I was younger.
To your knowledge, was Colleen Shaw hanging out with your mom and dad in let's say the month before she was murdered? Is there anything you know?
No.
Judge, that's all I think.
Okay, thank you. Okay, redirect.
I don't believe I have any questions, Your Honor. Thank you. I would like to subject this matter to recall possibly for the defense, please.
Very well. Okay, ma'am, I'm going to have you step down at this time. And as you heard Mr. Burr say, please be available in case you're needed for further testimony. Okay? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and excuse you for the evening. I know it's been a long day, and again, I appreciate your patience with us. We will go a full day tomorrow, so I'd like you to be here promptly at 9 so we can get started. Again, I will give you a mid-morning break, mid-afternoon break, and we will have a lunch break as well. If you, again, need to let people know where you are, you're certainly welcome to do that, to give the court's phone number, but you may not talk about this case with anyone, and you may not do any kind of investigation, and you may not read anything about, watch anything about it that may be on the media or on the internet, okay? Please take those instructions very seriously, and I will see you tomorrow at 9 in the morning, okay?
Have any motions filed? Why start the trial so late in the day and then break to get it over with as fast as possible? The jury is there. Don't waste the jury's time. as a famous man once said.
The most important people in this case that everybody seems to have forgotten in this room is the jury. So we're going to take a 15-minute break and both sides take a pregnant pause and think about the jury.
That's why they go, even though he's looking at his family. Hey there. Yeah, you are very late because they just ended court for today. Nope. She
The
didn't
jurors
paint the
have
nicest
an
picture.
excuse from the courtroom before we recess for the evening. Is there anything on behalf of the state of Ohio?
So a couple of things. I do want to apologize. It was my intention to give out exhibit list to Mr. Wilder and the court before, so I apologize. There's obviously a few things that happened. Number two, I would assume the pathologist is not going to testify until at least Wednesday or Thursday, depending upon how witnesses are going to be slotted. I don't know if the court would like the photos we intend to use ahead of time. I'm sure if you have your computer, I can burn a PowerPoint on the thumb drive for you so you can look at them. Or if the court wants them ahead of time, or if the court just wants to look at them at the time that the witnesses.
I think that I will need the context of testimony to make any decisions, but if there are particular photographs that you intend to use and that you have objections to those, Mr. Wilder, and it's something you want to take up prior to the testimony, we can do that, but I think I will be limited in any rulings I can make until I have the benefit of the testimony.
So if you have an external hard drive or a thumb drive, I can put PowerPoint on it, however you like.
Typically, we go through it at the time, because like you said, Judge, it'll depend on the particular
Just
picture.
means
If there's one that
think
I want to
about
object
it
to,
extra
just look at
hard.
the time. And maybe just make a general objection where we don't, we need a sidebar, that's one thing.
No,
but not-
Judge Mommy isn't
And the
in
court doesn't want to
Ohio.
show photos until they're
Right.
She is
So I think we can just
Wisconsin.
deal with it as it goes. I think that's okay.
And then lastly, I didn't want the court to think I was misleading the court. I did ask for Michaela to be the victim representative. The court said, well, since she is the first witness, there's very little prejudice. However, I think some of the names that Mr. Wilder brought up in cross-examination and some of the questions may make her possibly a potential rebuttal witness in the state's case. So we can chew on that tonight and think about it tomorrow. But I know the court made its ruling thinking there's very little prejudice if she's going to be the first witness and she may not come back, and now that might change things.
And I would just note that she does have rights under Marcy's law. Those are constitutional rights, and she's essentially put on the same footing as the defendant. But if there are cases that you think that I need to be aware of, I would ask you to be prepared to argue those
Well, it
in
is
the event that you wish for me to modify my
That's
ruling.
early. Yeah.
Anything that you'd like to put on the record before we leave for the evening?
No, Judge, I'm good at this point.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I'll see everyone tomorrow morning. We'll get started right at 9. Thank you.
Thank you. I assume I'll hold on to photos that have been introduced.
Yes, please.
Let's see if he does anything before it ends. Well, this trial for all the latecomers is this guy who allegedly stabulated his girlfriend through 28 years, 55 times from the head to her knees. His defense, I didn't do it. It was because he was taken in a drug bust. So it was the people who he owed money who did it.
Mhm.
That's the defense until we started trial today, and then we started trial.
Given what just occurred in court, I'm a little concerned about Mr. Madden's emotional state. And at the chance that that may repeat.
Let me just find that part again, because this was what's called a bit wild.
All right. Do you have any comment on that, Mr. Wilder?
Yeah, we would object to that.
Listen, I don't want to object to anything. I just want to, this is about the family.
Exercise her Marcy's all rights and be present for whatever part of the trial that she would be allowed to.
All right. Do you have any comment on that, Mr. Wilder?
Yeah, we would object to that.
Listen, I don't want to object to anything. I just want to, this is about the family that I love. And, listen, I'm responsible for what happened to her. I didn't mean it.
Judge, are we recording?
I believe we are.
I'm so
We need to take a recess?
Yes.
Okay.
I love that the state said, "Judge, are we still recording?"
Yeah.
because that audio clip will be played the rest of this trial, which probably won't be that long. I don't know if the defense lawyer will go home and say, "Hey, numbnuts, you're doing 19 years in prison. You just admitted to unaliving your girlfriend. Let's just go back to them and say, give me 40 years and I plead guilty." Let's not waste. It's hard to hear. Well, I have the direct feed from court. I can put up a link, maybe to. Maybe
Well,
we
you
can
can hear
better.
it clear as day. He says I'm responsible for what happened to her.
Oh, let's just pull this one up. Is it on screen? Because it's on my main screen, so I can't see the feed. Jamie,
What?
is it on the screen? Because I can't see the screen because it's on my main screen, so I can't see StreamYard.
Oh, yeah, it looks like it.
Listen, yeah, I'm responsible for what happened to her. I didn't mean it. We gotta do it. And I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's a bit different.
Yeah, they have a different view.
Did you hear the audio?
I heard it.
It's way clearer now. You could hear all the stuff we couldn't hear before. What happened to her? I didn't. Yeah. Thank you all for saying that, but I can't see it behind all the other one. So it's didn't say kill it. No, what happened to her? I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. So saying I'm responsible is not quite admitting to murder. No, it's not quite. But doing this motion, I don't care what way you see that. When this is played tomorrow for the jury, yeah, I would just say, can we just get a direct verdict meant? Maybe she wondered about if he didn't bring her a Big Mac every morning. Well, he did claim that she was a prostitute. Pretty clear. Yeah. MG, this is your client. At this moment, are you thinking, I'll fix this? Or are you thinking, well, at least I'm getting paid?
Is he though? Is he getting paid?
Well, yeah, but again, I don't know how they're gonna believe that's gonna work. I love you all, but I don't think the jury's gonna buy that one. Don't do
No, I don't
drugs,
buy it
kids.
either.
Yeah, it's also pretty hard to walk back. When you said that you didn't mean it to happen, what did you mean? Well, I was police arrested me with my 300 grams of meth, so I owed some bad people a lot of money, and I didn't mean them to unalive her. So yeah, this should have been Boone's defense. No, her defense is self-defense because he was locked in a suitcase, and I was so afraid he got out and killed me.
Yeah.
That's not how self-defense works. Yeah, but again, we all heard it, and the jurors are just as stupid as we are. They will hear the exact same thing. I did it.
Well, he said I'm responsible, but he also said I didn't mean to do it.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do it. Yeah.
It's a little. Then we're getting back into like, okay, you did it territory. So I can understand like if he just said I'm responsible, and then that's really open ended. Like it could be anything really. Like, yeah, he could be responsible because he was in a situation that got her killed. But when he says, I didn't mean to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's be generous. Let's just stop it with I'm responsible because of the meth. That's what he meant. The rest was just something he said. Yeah, and Mass, you could be a shyster lawyer. Her defense is ineffective. Brandon, Sarah Boone has surprised people before. Just go back and look at her Nickelodeon prisons.
Oh my
Going to
God.
the mall, looking at dudes.
Checking out dudes.
I need to clip that, Jamie.
Checking out dudes and spending money. Not my money. Or whatever.
No, it was
she
her
likes.
money.
Oh, it was her money. Okay, never mind.
You have to claim the third-party action, but you have to have some evidence to support it. Yeah, and so far it is there was a broken window at the house, and you could get in through the back door.
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
Jesus.
I saw parts of it. Yeah, as long as you didn't really mean it, it doesn't matter. Yes. We just had the first witness. We will be going tomorrow roughly at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. No. This is Eastern, right, Jamie?
Eastern, yeah.
Yes, roughly Eastern. Oh, I meant the girl that got unalive. She can't defend herself. No, she was really bad at defending herself. 55 times. Well, most of it, she does have defensive wounds, it sounds like. At the mall, checking out luggage and dudes. Have to be careful through the back door. Yeah, you can end up in a real shitty situation.
Stop it.
If nothing else, I'll get some sound bites. Well, it's really a bad. See, MG was on it with me. The sound bites are really bad because he's mumbling too much. Well, Candy Temple, I wish I could move you to a more eastern time zone, but hopefully you'll get out of bed in time, or else catch us on the replay. Becca saw red because of lawyer Brittany. Well, I like red. It's one of my favorite colors. He can't use the unintentional defense. Hasn't Sarah Boone copyrighted that? It will be, I think it will be a Supreme Court ruling that unintentionally, yes, does mean can't be found guilty because it wasn't intentionally. See you, Michelle. And as I said earlier, we'll be doing this 9 a.m. tomorrow. I'm actually hoping that at around lunchtime he just pleads guilty, because tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern, I will be doing a guest spot on a channel talking about a few cases, just having a good old chin whack, as they call it somewhere. I don't know, Britain maybe, at the Social Change Warriors. It's going to be interesting. Never really seen that before. New channel. She had Rita from the Karen Reed fame on, and she asked me if I want to come on and do a show with her. So of course I will. Small channel, just getting out there. I will promote it more tomorrow on my on the page when she gets the stream set up. But this is the link to the channel. But we are gonna have a chin wag. I think it's I want to sound more British, Jamie, because I have this very American accent. So I want to try to sound a little more sophisticated. So I might be starting to say things like "jolly good, my lady."
Well, you could be very sophisticated with your Nigerian Scottish accent.
Yeah.
Or your Southern accent.
My Southern accent is very sophisticated. So
It is very sophisticated.
I might be the most sophisticated of them all. But no, we'll do that in the morning when no, we'll do that in the evening tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. This channel, Laura. I don't know what we're going to talk about. Figure it out. And I'm not good at talking. So I don't know. She'll have to drag it out of me. Why? Because she want to talk to me. Jesse is all cranky now.
Mhm.
I wish I was Jeremy Clarkson. No, my family got out of farming. I don't want to go back. It talks enough for both of us. Rita Hardy got a word in. Well, I can take a day off then. I can be Jamie for a night.
Hey,
But you never let Jamie talks. Nope.
you never let me speak about anything.
So yeah. Yeah, so let's help her out a bit. She's brand new. No why to the British accent. I want to be more sophisticated. I am a grifter. And I think if I pushed it up a bit, I could get to those 14,500 subscribers. My dearest
Stop it.
Jamie,
My dearest. Oh.
doth thou have anything thou wanted to off your chest get?
No. No.
Zach,
Yeah.
how could I blow your cover because I don't recognize you? I never see you in this channel. Don't read your super chats. You know how the rules are.
Who is Zach?
I don't know. I've never seen him
Is he
before.
new here? Is he
Yeah.
new here? Okay.
Biggest beauty on a budget. Yeah, we can do that. Just don't
Yeah.
do the drunken American. You said yesterday I had a good drunken American accent. Rumors has it Sarah might have been lying about the amount of wine they had. I just saw another channel had some receipts. At least 3 bottles of wine was bought in that day.
That's a lie. There is no
Yeah.
way. She
I
doesn't
can't
drink.
drink. I won't drink.
She doesn't drink. She just hangs out at the mall and checks out dudes.
Checks out dudes. Can teach you all the British slang to make you sound authentic. I need to get a proper Cockney accent. Jamie, I'm brand new here. What are we supposed to be doing?
Just get your credit card out and just start, giving Baker money. That's what you do here, Zach.
Don't do that.
Give him all the corner kisses.
No. Just like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 14,500. I've been stuck in 14,480 something for 3 months. No, it feels like it, but for 3 weeks. They keep taking subs away. But it's like that. Well, Harmony, just be here tomorrow at 9 Eastern. We'll start again. No, I think full bottles are magic in her house. They empty real fast. Yeah, she only looks for mandates at the mall. Outside the
I feel
Samsonite
like
store.
she only picked manlets so she could beat them up.
No, her husband was quite big.
No, I don't really remember what he looks like.
Well, he was quite big. He was standing outside. Well, that's what the overhead said. Mine says 12,495, and when I come back tomorrow, it'll say 12,473. I normally lose like 20 overnight. So yeah, it's because it only shows the big number. I can see the last of them. So online Reddit said no weather has come into reporters for no reason whatsoever. Me too.
Well, the more popular you get, the more crazy people get. So
yeah. Talking about crazy. Hi, Ralphie. Yeah, we're so sorry. We as soon as you catch us up, we are leaving. I have a Jorge-sized man. He's still really what? Then is he?
what? I still making jokes. Oh, okay. She's got to get him in that suitcase too. She was going to do a test if she wanted to see if it was easy to sneak up on somebody with a suitcase and put them in it.
He would do it, you know it.
I know. I'm waiting, Danny.
Yeah, it's funny, and then your numbers go up when you stream, and then they drop below the number you started when you go off stream. Has problems inflating numbers apparently. 50 millimeters is huge. That's 5 centimeters. Did he cry all the time? Miss some of it? No, he actually got back. So yeah, I lose subs on the replay crew. I doesn't know how to speak number. No, I'm el stupido. But I can actually prove that I'm not lying. Look, 12,495. And it's just been going from nothing has been happening for the last long time. So that's a bit annoying. It doesn't matter. It's not that important. But we will be back in the morning, and hopefully all y'all will be back with us. Jamie, gracias por joining.
Bye.
Everyone, have a great night. Bye.
What exhibit are you referring to?
I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor.
All right.
100. Because it is 100% correct.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't have cared.
You wouldn't have cared?
No.
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
No.
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
Probably did. Everybody has.
So there-
Everybody has.